Welcome to Season 4, The Myth Breakers. Today, we have a lovely guest, Mr. Raghavendra Satish Perry from Hyderabad. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Hina.
And how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. And thank you for your time. And if you could just share about yourself to our listeners.
I'm Raghavendra Satish Peri. I live in Hyderabad. Everyone calls me Raghava. Uh, I am blind. I work as a digital accessibility specialist. I'm the director of a company uh, called Userway. And what I do is I make digital products accessible for Fortune 500 companies. So I basically am a subject matter expert in the web content accessibility guidelines and other technology subjects in the tech space of accessibility. So I work with these clients to make their like in a websites, mobile apps, PDFs, Word documents, PowerPoints, always accessible so that people with disabilities can access this content.
Okay.
So that is what I do professionally.
Okay.
At a personal level, I write. I manage a couple of blogs, and I'm very active in social media communities and all. I already also build a community called Hello Accessibility. It's hello11y.com, a11y.com, hello a11y.com, and I'm trying to promote education in the accessibility space in the Indian accessibility industry. I also work with people with disabilities and chronic health challenges. I'm trying to make a model where if I can teach them skills that are where they can work from anywhere in the flexible way, uh, so that they have a self-sustainable employment or just to keep them busy.
That's a
This
really noble thought. And it is amazing as when you are sharing about your work because even the sighted people are just struggling to do this type of work.
Yeah. So this it's nothing to do with sighted. We as blind here. It's more of what aligns with our goals. That's what I have realized during my journey of my life. We plan a lot. We try to do a lot of times, and I realize that life also intervenes at its own course and steers you on a different path. So you just go on the path because it is not something you chose for yourself. It is chosen for you by the universe, and it all turns out to be okay. At the end, whatever happens, as they say, it happens for good.
Absolutely. When you are saying that you are developing this, I also read somewhere that you also own your own network named Cosling Media.
Oh, that one is a very old
Mm-hmm.
uh, where like 10 years back idea where I tried building social media services for the non-profits. It did not pan out well, so I shut that down. So I did a lot of prototypes during my younger days in Bangalore when I was living, and things I was ahead of time. Social media is very huge now, like businesses, non-profits, everyone uses it. But in 2009, 2010, it is a difficult thing to sell. And for someone who is like blind and just making very little money in the tech space as a software engineer, it was difficult to branch out as an entrepreneur or do something. So those were some of my side hustle, as they say, projects that I used to tinker with. So yeah, I own a lot of websites like that, and I left them off right now. Like I don't run them anymore.
Okay. But it's like, inspirational also. And during this journey of yours, who were your support system or like any mentors or you got motivation from somebody?
So my support system comes from home, where my dad, mom, and my sister supported me a lot, more than anyone. My sister especially, because her name is Sirisha, and she has been a pillar. Like, she taught me all the social skills that are required to survive in this world. Like, I really understand what a social structure, how to be in a social gathering, or when you go to let's just take a restaurant, a simple example of a restaurant. When you go to a restaurant, what you need to order, because so these were the days where there were no mobile phone, smartphones, 2006, 2007, 2008, and all.
Mm-hmm.
We used now you if you go alone to a restaurant, they just come put the menu card on your table. They don't even realize that you're blind. They don't
Right.
understand. They don't understand. The sensitization is very low back then. And it so happens that my sister taught me, when you go to an Italian place, you need to order this, so she took me. She was working back then as a software engineer. She taught me all these skills. Like, she made me experience a lot of stuff. Uh, and I think that helped me propel forward in my career and personal life also. Because when I moved to Bangalore, I was alone. I was living alone. I have a small apartment, and I was able to manage pretty well because I already understood how to navigate these kind of social structures. And during that time, I was low vision. I'm not totally blind.
Okay. So, is there any app or something via which you use it, like now, if you want to navigate or something?
Yes, I use something called a screen reader, which generally makes your normal phone or normal computer into a talking computer. It reads out all the text, and if it is a button, to say it is a button. Maybe I can show you a sample. Let's just see. WhatsApp desktop. Google Mozilla Firefox. Google Documents. Search landmark. Clear button. Google search button. I'm feeling lucky, but link.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one of the screen reader.
Mhm.
This.
So it comes by default in all the phones, or do we need to download it?
So if you're using an Android phone, there's something called TalkBack, and if you're using iOS iPhone, you have something called VoiceOver, which in both cases is inbuilt. If TalkBack is not installed on your Android phone, you can go to Google Play Store and install it.
Okay. And how about laptop?
In laptop, in Mac, it comes with a voice. It's called VoiceOver. Again, it
Okay.
comes in Windows. We have Narrator, but we don't use that. We use something called NVDA, which is Non-Visual Desktop Access, and JAWS, JAWS, which is Job Access with Speech.
Okay, because this knowledge is still very new, that these things are available, and one should actually have it on their mobile.
Yes. So the thing about screen readers is that lately it is widely known in the blind communities. But when I was studying in 2003, 2004, I was not aware of that there were screen readers.
Okay.
Uh, like, even my doctors never told me, my eye specialist, that there are screen readers or there are these computer related magnifiers and all. So I accidentally stumbled on something called Windows XP magnifier, and I was using that with large fonts and all back then. But it would have been easy to do digital education if you have screen readers and all that during that time. They were there, it's just awareness was not there. But right
Right.
now, awareness is huge, but it's in the urban cities. I'm not sure how huge it is in the rural places as of now.
Right. And how about, like, when you meet people right now?
Hmm.
So do you face, or like back then also, when during your journey, did you face any type of questions that you would have liked people not to ask you?
Uh, I always feel that we as humans need to ask questions uh, to understand the other person much better.
Mm-hmm.
But there is, if it is coming too much into your personal space that you don't want to share, you can always say, I don't want to share it. That's fine.
Right. And how about, like, there is this very common question that people may have asked you, that how do you, like, live a normal life? I mean, that is like something I think I have also seen people asking.
Basically, we all have normal life. It's just
True.
that our lives are little different. See, we are all born unique.
Absolutely.
So the other day I was like, really, I was on with a friend who said, we are all born unique, but don't die as a copy.
That's wonderful. That's really inspirational.
Yeah. So we are all born unique, and each of us are gifted with our own skills. So just because my disability that you can see physically, doesn't change me as a person, doesn't change me as a human, doesn't impact my feelings, my understanding, my abilities in any, it doesn't change anything in any way.
True.
Okay, so I live as well. Like I also eat, I sleep, I drink water. What then I get thirst. So I'm also living normally. So there's nothing called normal. It's just again we need to hack our lives in a certain way.
That's a digital person speaking. When it comes to hack, and you have rightly stated that yes, these limitations does not mean that you cannot do things the way you are doing. You are doing an amazing job, and the way you are working in this field and creating awareness, because you are a very good speaker, and you have taken part in many motivational speeches also.
Yes. So I learned this, to speak when I was in Bangalore. I was invited to share my knowledge on building websites and doing digital marketing.
Hmm.
That's for the first time I gave a talk, and I kind of liked it. And then I I would say I tried taking self training a lot through YouTube videos and all. I don't say I'm a very great public speaker, but I'm learning because even this art is a real thing. It's not something that you can go and talk. I have done like more than 100 talks in last 10 years, but I would say I'm still a newbie in this space.
That's humility speaking. And would you like to share any message to the people who are actually also struggling in their own life or who are differently abled?
So I think we need to first stop using the word differently abled.
Oh,
Everyone is different, as we spoke already. So the right word to choose is a person with disability, and or PWD as that in short it's called.
okay.
And yes, so the my idea comes when so everyone has special needs. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't like someone doesn't need salt. That is a special requirement in his food, which is a special need.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So everyone has special needs, and when we all agree that we are all different, so everyone has different abilities, so everyone is differently able. Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah. So and I would say that is one thing. And when it comes to a message, I would say just learn to live your life. I keep telling because one thing I realized is if you asked me a few years back, Raghu, what is it like? What are your plans? I would have given you my whole planning that I have done. Like I want a farmhouse in this place, or I want to be settled here. I want to travel to these countries and this like I was making plans in 2018, 2017. I was pre-booked in so many conferences, like in Europe and other places. I was going to so many other. And what happens is life, as I said, life intervenes, and I've gone through a kidney failure, and I was on dialysis for about 2.5 years. And 6 months back, I've gone through my kidney transplant, and by God's grace, I'm doing fine. So just live your life. This moment is the truth. So I wrote a blog post called "The Truth," which is this moment is the truth. Like the past and the future are the realities. Well, those two are beautiful realities. I don't say that they are not relevant. They are two beautiful realities that are relevant because the future is full of dreams. It's nothing. You don't imagine yourself anything sad, or you imagine everything great for yourself, so that keeps you happy. And past has both the mixture. You have the good, bad, ugly of memories. But the truth is, we are in this moment. So what do you feel this moment? So I would say live this moment and try to make best of it. Think of what you can do in next few minutes, next 1 hour. And COVID has proved this. Okay, COVID has changed the world. People have plans. People make plans. People are like a lot of people wanted a lot of things, and COVID has changed a lot of it. So the uncertainty is always there. It's just we need to be mindful. Like I read this quote, I think there's a book called What the Dog Saw, in which Nassim Taleb says, when you've seen a black swan, and not just seen but lived as one, it is easy to remember another one on the horizon.
Wow,
That
that's beautiful. And you have rightly said, yes, living in the moment and living in the moment now is the ultimate truth and the reality part. And past and future hold its own relevance and its own beauty. So, altogether, it's like this moment is what life is all about.
yes.
And if you could just share, like, there could be moments when, you might have felt low. So, in those moments, how did you cope and do such amazing work?
So everyone, let's just say, like take my kidney problem as
Okay.
well. When this happened, I was supposed to get my Canada PR. I was supposed to fly to Europe, and I was supposed to fly to US for something. I was thinking to get married, and like you're 31 and 31, 30, like you're top of the world, success is like there, and you're professionally, personally successful and all that. I went to a doctor just to get, I was having a lot of acidity burn because I eat outside. And they said, your kidneys are working at 10%. I'm like, that's a shock because when this happened the next week or the next week, I'm supposed to fly out of India. And I had to cancel everything like next 1 year. I thought, okay, this will take this much time. But what we planned, I was low. I was low for a week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh, Everyone becomes low, but my desire to live is, my dad said,
It's a path
everyone,
to these
yeah,
difficulties.
your desire to live will enable you to fight this. Like, I wouldn't say fight or warrior or anything, but
Mm-hmm.
your desire to live a better life every day will enable you to move forward. The only thing I ask myself is, am I a better person from yesterday? Am I happy than yesterday? And for you to be, the thing I tell people is, happiness is not something that is happening outside you, like the moments that you got a high pay raise or you got a new job. That I'm not talking about those things. Those events also make happy, but how would you feel from within? Like when I got my kidney transplant done, I was glowing from within, and that glow was there even during my dialysis time, but the glow has multiplied like 1,000 times or infinite times. Like I was with my doctor about 2 months back, and my dad was there because every week we were supposed to go for a checkup. And he asked me, what problems do you have? I said, I don't have any problems. And he looks at my dad. This is the problem with him for last 3 years. He doesn't. When patients come to me, they give me a list of problems to treat. And during dialysis, post transplant, he doesn't say, there are no problems. I need to find out what the problems are.
Right.
So that is my way I see the life, because as I said, I live now. I am very happy, content with whatever I have. Uh, I also aspire for more, but as I said, live now.
So the glow is now getting illuminating, I mean, it's illuminating the area around you, and you are an inspiration for so many. And now that people will listen, yes, they will realize that the happiness that they are looking for has to be something from inside. first.
Yes, you need to look inside.
Absolutely.
We see today social media doing it. Like people say, yo, they put all these nice photos and all.
Mm-hmm.
But I've met people, who are unhappy about everything. And some people are very unhappy looking at those photos. If that is making you unhappy that you are not able to travel, stop looking at them. Why you are worried?
The conscious decisions.
You need to be conscious. You need to be mindful of what you want to. You need to be very mindful of what you choose, because there are things that are in your control, okay, and there are things that are not in your control.
Okay.
But to make oneself happy, you can do all these things that are in our control. You can cut out all the toxic people, all the toxic talk. Uh, listen to great music, read books that make you happy. If you don't want to do anything, that is also fine. Relax, sleep. Who is asking anyone here? I say people.
Right. Because nowadays the social media is like bombarded with so much of information that relaxing is the least on the list.
I agree. Like today morning, my screen time came, and it gives me your screen time average about 1 hour 30 minutes a day. Like if you ask me 2 months, like last, I think sometime in August, it was at 12 hours a day.
Okay.
And yeah, so I said, okay, I'm very happy. I cut down everything. I stopped using all the apps, all the social apps.
So that space is there just to be with yourself for a change.
See, social media is like any other drug, and where we live in the information world, like how
True.
people get addicted to any kind of medical drugs or any other addiction. Uh, so even this is the information world is also very addictive. Like there is this app called Clubhouse that came. Like I got signed up, and because someone said some other transplant patient said, I'm running a room. Why don't you join the room? I went there because to join the room, and that
Mhm.
never happened. But I got addicted to the app itself. Like I was joining so many rooms. I was listening to other people, contributing my opinions and all. And I realized my screen time went to 12 hours. Like I'm spending 12 hours a day on phone, and I did not believe it. But I made a conscious decision to cut down the addiction slowly, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. Now it just I don't go to the Clubhouse app only. Even if I go, it is like a 10-minute break. That's all.
That's really nice because, yes, as you have just said, to be mindful, to be conscious, to be aware about what one is indulging their time in and prioritizing their time will actually help in, connecting with inner self.
Yeah.
Any advice you want to give?
No advice. As I said, live your life.
Live your life. Besides that, anything which you would have wanted because I presume you also used to have a bucket of lists like for yourself.
Yeah, it used to be a very huge list of 101 things I'll do before I die.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I fulfilled, like, I was a marathon runner. I got featured in documentary. Then a lot of things. I did a lot of trekking. I did rock climbing, cave explorations, kayaking, rappelling, all the adventure sports stuff. I traveled to a lot of couple of countries. I traveled across India a lot during my travel. So it's always good. I would say, one advice I'll do that helped me and that helped people uh, whom I spoke with, my friends and all. If you can write, if you can write, even if it is one line every day, just put your heart out. Either you publish it, you don't publish it, that is all irrelevant. Like, doesn't make anything. Just write, because what happens when you write is, I found peace in when I write. So
Okay.
if you can find peace, and if you can find uh, I wouldn't say happiness, but if you can find solace and peace in what do you do, like it can be music, some people sing, some people play an instrument, just do that stuff. For me,
So,
it is right.
so if I have to translate, and after listening to you, the advice is to live your life
Yes,
to the best because like whatever activities you have engaged in, it's like you had enjoyed those moments. So it's like
yes.
take out time for yourself, and that is the advice to all the listeners to live in the moment and do whatever you want to do after prioritizing and, of course, right.
So I would say yes, live your life because we I think God has sent us to live our life here.
Absolutely. And it was wonderful talking to you. And it's been great. It's been like an eye opener also in some instances that, never to give up attitude and the glow that you had despite of all the challenges that you have faced, yet showing that grit within you.
Thank you for inviting me, Hina. It's great to be on Myth.
Thanks a lot, sir, and take care of yourself. Keep inspiring people and keep sharing your thoughts on social media. If at all people want to connect with you, how could they do?
Okay. My email ID is Raghava, Raghava, 111 at gmail.com. And my website is raghava.in, raghava.in.
Okay, so all those who want to connect with such an amazing person and learn more about it as to how you can be in the moment, so do connect with him. And he has shared, I will also be sharing it in the post, the links that he have mentioned. Thanks a lot, sir, and take care. Bye.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Blind people are just like seeing people in the dark. The loss of sight does not impair the qualities of mind and heart. How true are these words by Helen Keller as we listen to Mr. Raghavendra Satish Perry, a digital accessibility specialist who believes that life is all about this moment. When he was young as 8 years, he was diagnosed with a degenerative eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa, a retinal deterioration condition that would progress slowly, and in the years to come, he would lose his sight completely and be blind. This did not stop him from losing vision and gaining insight. His spirits were not dampened. The support from his family was immense, especially his sister Sirisha Perry, who was a pillar of strength. She made him unlearn and relearn social skills with every new situation and instilled the confidence back in his brother's eyes. Thus, Raghava never looked back and worked on his 101 bucket list and lived each day as it came with a smile that could put anyone at ease. Professionally, he is working right now as a director of accessibility in Userway Inc. company. He has been associated with DEC System and IBM. A recent feather in his cap was almost this month last year, where he was awarded as one of the awardee in category A by NCPEDP Emphasis Universal Design Award, India's most prestigious awards in accessibility for persons with disability. Personally, he has been in search of blogs written by blind people or visually impaired people, but to his surprise, there were very less number of blogs, and his blogging journey started wherein he started sharing his experience of life with his readers. Besides this, His race of life was fueled with his obsession and passion to run. His thirst of knowledge about how blind people can take part in marathon led him to connect with Mr. Santosh, who runs this amazing community called Runners High. With the training by Mr. Santosh and Mr. Raghava's grit and dedication, he won half marathon. His motto, "This moment is the ultimate truth. Past and future are two beautiful realities." Following this, he strongly feels that balancing and pursuing his passion is one way to let the world know that when you set your mind to something, you can achieve it. On that note, let's join hand and try to share his story so that it is a burning inspiration for others. With that message from Mr. Raghava, and adding on to what he had earlier said, that happiness is something from within. It will glow you and your path of life. You need to be mindful, you need to be conscious, you need to realize that how could you be a better person than who you were yesterday, and think that what you can do in the moment. With all these inspirational words, I wind up and take my leave, leaving a thought at your end how you can contribute in your own life. See you in my next episode with another guest. Till then, take care and be safe.